She had everything: wealth, status, a respected name, a family filled with love, a life most people spend their entire lives chasing. And then, in what felt like a moment, it was all taken away. Her husband, gone, her security, shattered, her future, uncertain. Everything she once stood on collapsed beneath her. But what she found next would ask even more of her. More sacrifice, more loss, more courage than she ever imagined. This is the story of a woman born into privilege, raised in Protestant faith, who walked away from everything familiar, everything safe, to follow something she believed was true, even when it cost her everything. Elizabeth Ann Bailey was born in 1774 into one of New York's most respected families. Her father, a physician, her upbringing disciplined, refined, rooted in faith. She was raised Episcopalian, a faith that was structured, dignified, familiar. She learned to pray, to believe, to live a moral life, and yet, there was always something stirring beneath the surface, a quiet longing for something deeper. She married William Seton, a successful businessman. Together they built a life of comfort, a home filled with laughter, 5 children, security, stability. Everything seemed complete, but inside, Elizabeth was searching, not for more wealth, not for more success, but for truth, something real, something that could fill the space no comfort ever could. Then, everything changed. William's business began to fail. Losses mounted. Debt tightened around them like chains. The life they built started slipping away, and just when they thought it couldn't get worse, it did. William became sick, tuberculosis, a slow, relentless disease. Elizabeth watched helplessly as the man she loved faded before her eyes. Desperate for healing, for hope, they sailed to Italy, a final attempt to save his life. But the journey would not bring healing, only heartbreak. In Italy, far from home, far from everything she knew, William died, and Elizabeth was left alone, a widow, in a foreign land. Grief surrounded her. Uncertainty consumed her. But it was there, in the middle of her pain, that something unexpected happened. She encountered the Catholic Church. At first, she simply observed the silence, the reverence, the way people knelt, as if they were standing before something real. And then she saw the Eucharist, not just a symbol, not just a ritual, but something that stirred her soul, a presence, a mystery, a truth she couldn't explain, but couldn't ignore. And for the first time, she wondered, what if this is real? What if this is truly Christ? But truth is never easy, because truth demands something. And Elizabeth knew exactly what this truth would cost. She was Protestant, her family, Protestant, her friends, Protestant, her entire world built around it. To become Catholic was unthinkable. It meant rejection, isolation, loss, and yet something inside her wouldn't let go. The Eucharist, the Blessed Mother, the beauty of the Mass. It kept calling her, not loudly, but persistently, like a whisper. she couldn't silence. She wrestled, night after night, question after question, fear after fear. What will people say? What will happen to my children? Am I making a mistake? And then she prayed, God, show me the truth, even if it costs me everything. And finally, after months of struggle, she chose not comfort, not approval, not safety, truth. In 1805, Elizabeth Ann Seton entered the Catholic Church, not because it was easy, but because she believed it was true. She surrendered everything familiar to follow what she believed was real. And in that moment, she didn't just change her religion. She changed her life forever. And the cost? It came immediately. Friends distanced themselves. Family struggled to understand. Whispers followed her. Judgment surrounded her. And then, her livelihood disappeared. She had started a school, but when people learned she was Catholic, they pulled their children out, one by one, until there was nothing left. No income, no stability, no safety net, just Elizabeth and 5 children to care for. She had chosen truth, and now she was paying for it. But here's what makes her story powerful. She never went back. Instead of giving up, she gave more. She poured herself into serving others. She started again, this time for the poor. She founded a community, the Sisters of Charity, a life of service, a life of sacrifice, a life rooted in truth. She became Mother Seton, and what began as loss turned into legacy. Schools were built, children were educated, faith spread, and from her obedience came the foundation of the Catholic school system in America. All because she said yes. Her story didn't end with her life. It continued through generations, through schools, through communities, through faith, and years later, the Church recognized what her life had already proven. She was a saint, the first American-born saint, but her greatest legacy wasn't buildings or institutions. It was her courage to follow truth, no matter the cost. Because her story asks something deeper. What if truth costs you everything? Your comfort, your reputation, your security. Would you still follow it? Elizabeth did. Not because it was easy, but because it was real. Follow for more story of saints who didn't choose comfort, they chose truth.